can absolutely freeze in glass. I love to do it actually. Okay, so just as a sample, I'm gonna freeze this in glass. Now, if I were putting this in the fridge, I could go all the way to the top. But to put this in the freezer, you wanna make sure to leave at least an inch or so of space before you put your lid on. Liquids, when they freeze, expand. Let me show you. This jar of tomato sauce has been in my freezer. It's too cold for me to hold. And see how it froze like with a bump on it like that? So you're at danger for your glass exploding if you don't leave enough space before you put it in the freezer. Another thing to consider is whether or not your jar has shoulders. See how this one is straight and this one has these shoulders? So I much prefer the straight, so these are the wide mouth ball jars, you can buy these anywhere, over something that tapers in. Number one, the taper means it's gonna be much harder to get the item out of here, but also if you're measuring, this one you can see it was so empty. So if you're measuring an inch on a jar with shoulders, the inch doesn't start at the top, it starts at the shoulder, because it's really hard for us to account for the volume loss you have when the mouth of the jar tapers inward. So on this jar, I just went an inch down from the top, but on this jar, I would actually make sure it's an inch down from the shoulders. This one was just a jar of pasta sauce. We ate it twice and I didn't think we were gonna get to it. So because I'm extremely lazy, I just threw this whole thing in the freezer and I knew that because it was mostly empty, it would be fine. Obviously, if you don't have a lot of freezer room, you might not want to take up your whole freezer with this. You might want to transfer it out, but whatever, I didn't need to. So when all is said and done, freezing in jars is amazing. And I think it's worth the investment into some wide mouth, straight side, shoulder-free ball jars. These are my favorite things to put soups and stocks and things in.